Every June in Powell River, British Columbia, Canada, on the ancestral lands of the Kahaman Nation, people gather from all over the world for the PRISMA Festival. Join us as we bring you a taste of the music, conversation and celebration for which this event has become known. We do look forward to welcoming you back to the concert hall someday, but until then, this is PRISMA on the Couch.
Welcome to PRISMA on the Couch, episode 4 from Lund, BC.
Yeah, we're in this beautiful, overlooking this beautiful harbor. Lots of boat traffic, especially in the summertime. It's kind of like the Grand Central Station of summer Powell River. Great jumping off point for Savory Island, for Desolation Sound, boating, kayak tours, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it happens here in the summer. It's a very busy place, as Andy said. But in the winter, there's only 300 people here. 300 people live here year-round. And we're going to tell you during this episode a bit more about everything that happens here in Lund, all the options you have if you ever decide to come to this area. But before we do that, we are going to listen to a very energetic piece of music. And that is the second movement of Shostakovich's 10th Symphony. The 2019 PRISMA Festival Orchestra comprised of these young musicians from all over the world with their incredible talent. Enjoy Shostakovich's 10th Symphony, second movement.
You know, Arthur, I almost didn't make it here today because I was driving down Highway 101 and I saw the sign for the Laughing Oyster restaurant in Oakover. I almost turned right instead of going straight.
Oh, I can imagine. The Laughing Oyster restaurant is one of the most gourmet, beautiful restaurants we have in the neighborhood. And Chef Dave Bose will cook you a beautiful meal. It can be seafood or other food. And every year, it's where he hosts the PRISMA kick-off party, where our membership will be gathering to listen to music and eat beautiful food. But we have more here for food, right? In Lund.
There's some great restaurants. Just behind us here, below where you can see is the Boardwalk Pub, which is, Boardwalk Restaurant, I think it is.
Yeah.
Great fish and chips, great other things. And you go a little further from that, there's Sassy Mac's Ice Cream, where they make this delicious homemade ice cream. I've taste tested it. Yeah, we know it's good. Take our word for it. And then you go a little further to Nancy's Bakery, where they have world famous cinnamon buns. They've got all flavors.
Yeah, and upstairs you have the pollen sweaters. Pollen sweaters is like a sweater that's knitted here from real wool. You can wash it. It's gorgeous, it's warm, but never too warm. Recommended also.
They're great. Around the corner, beautiful gallery. Deborah there makes beautiful soapstone carvings and some great art from all over this region and other nearby regions.
Then we have the Lund Hotel, or the previous Lund Hotel, the Tlamen Resort.
Yeah.
And the gallery back there, and there's a pub. It's over there. You can probably see it in the white shot. So lots of options for dining in and around Lund.
Mm-hmm. It's making me hungry for some other content, maybe some video about...
Yeah, let's look at the overview of week 2 here at PRISMA. From Powell River this time. We watched the episode the first week from Victoria. We are back in BC Powell River, where you will see how the Lafayette String Quartet and the Cascadia Trio in person on stage teach and talk to our students.
You're home.
What's up?
You're home.
We're back home.
The home of PRISMA.
Back home at PRISMA premises.
After arriving back in Pell River and getting settled in at the Evergreen Theatre, we reunited with our local film crew and got right to work on producing a busy week of live stream content.
Now, I want you just for fun, I want you to use heavy arm weight on that high B flat. Let's hear it. It's not going to be pretty, I'm just warning you. Ooh, actually, it sounds really good. Can you now do I'm thinking, now let's try this. Just the note itself. Good, now use lighter but faster bow speed. Here we go. That sounds great. Now let's hear the 3rd and 4th bar. And when you get to that B flat, that is the perfect ingredient of the arm weight and the bow speed you're using on the high B flat. It'll sound fantastic. That's cool. That's a different kind of sound making, isn't it? It's great.
Over the course of the week, each member of the Lafayette String Quartet worked with students over Zoom on various excerpts and aspects of technique, musicianship, and more.
Good, yes. And let the molecules come out of your fiddle in your... Don't get diggy. Don't get diggy. A real Mozart détaché.
Keep going. Let's finish.
Oh, sorry.
And can you hold it a little longer because it's... Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good. What I love is the openness of the students. She was laughing with me and laughing at herself, and well, I just want to tell you, violin's not my first instrument. But I don't care. You're doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
So this is a great little group of cuties.
Thanks to a grant from the U.S. government, PRISMA was also able to offer an American masterclass series with a faculty comprised of principal players from some of the finest orchestras south of the border. Spectators tuned in from all over the world to watch David Halen, concertmaster of the St. Louis Symphony, Martin Chalifour, concertmaster of the Los Angeles Philharmonic, and world-famous soloist Anne Akiko Myers work with students from both sides of the 49th parallel. And that was just the violin faculty. We also welcomed Jonathan Vinocourt, principal viola with the San Francisco Symphony, Carter Bray, principal cello with the New York Philharmonic, Katinka Klein of the Chicago Symphony, John Lutterman from the University of Alaska Anchorage, as well as Timothy Cobb, principal bass with the New York Philharmonic. Each morning, the Evergreen Theatre played host to a rehearsal as the Lafayette String Quartet and our very own Arthur Arnold continued the work on Schubert's String Quintet in C major.
Yes. If we meet on the second quarter, we're good to go. We're good to go.
Pop-up concerts at various locations around the community, including the Pell River Town Center, Cla'aman Governance House, Vaccination Clinic, and Willingdon Beach, served as the perfect chance to test the piece out on a live audience and spread some musical joy to people of all ages. Our itinerary was action-packed with online lessons also taking place each afternoon at the Pell River Academy of Music, connecting our guest artists one-on-one with talented students all over the province. By the time Friday rolled around, our quintet was ready to perform. And, as a special nod to normal, longtime MC John Silver was brought in to kick off the proceedings. We were even able to invite 36 PRISMA members to join us in the Evergreen Theatre and experience a much-needed return to live music in Pell River. The following day, we live-streamed another edition of our Making a Life as a Musician program, supported by Creative BC. And soon it was time for our final concert of 2021, featuring the Cascadia Trio from Victoria and another live audience at the Evergreen Theatre. With one final pop-up at Coastal Breeze Retirement Village on the Sunday morning, we were able to spread even more musical joy. Just look at those smiles. And with that, it was time to pack up, sort through over 100 hours of video footage, and get ready for PRISMA on the couch. If you're watching this now, we must have pulled it off.
So Andy, you told me that you were driving here, but you should have been walking to here. It's a gorgeous area to walk.
Well, I forgot my hiking shoes, so it's tempting when you don't.
Yeah. So listen to that heron. Can you see it, ladies and gentlemen? That's land. You know, hiking, eh? This is hiker's paradise. There's lots of different hikes, but there is a highlight hike here where people from all over the world come to this region.
The Sunshine Coast Trail, there's a starting off point just by Sarah Point around the corner here, and it's 180 kilometers of hut-to-hut hiking.
That's right. And Sarah Point is 12 kilometers north, and it goes all the way south to Saltery Bay, where the second ferry to get to this area arrives. And you know, there is gorgeous views. I've never done the whole hike, I have to admit, but there's gorgeous views. Once I hiked up to Tin Hat. Have you ever been in Tin Hat?
No, I haven't. My dad.
Oh, you have to go. Yeah. Tin Hat, you have a 360 degrees around view of the area. You see the lakes, and you know, it is so quiet up there. There is such a peace. And really the next songs we are going to hear are the 4 last songs of Richard Strauss. And this is the peace you feel when you're up that mountain. So enjoy Lauren Marginson, soloist in Strauss' 4 last songs. Well, that was just gorgeous. Andy, if I had to live on a desolated island, I would bring this music. If I had to make one choice, I would bring Strauss' 4 last songs. But let's get down from that beautiful height, down that hill or mountain, to Lund Harbor on sea level and explore what else is here to discover.
A great way to explore is via kayak. And there's some great nature exploration companies here. Terracentric, just around the corner from us here, our friends Hugh and Christine, they run a great operation there. They can take you out for Zodiac tours, kayak tours, all that stuff. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. There's Pal River Sea Kayak nearby.
Correct.
Footprint Nature Explorations.
Yeah, they're Dutch. I've met them many times. Yeah, they'll take you out for multiple day trips. There's lots to do here if you like kayaking, and I do.
And you own a kayak, right? You went out in one recently.
I own 2 kayaks.
Oh, okay.
And I had somebody over. And in the next clip, we are going to look at my little kayak adventure with a dear friend. Hey, Aldo.
Hi,
How's it going?
it's great.
What are you doing here?
It's a magnificent day. I'm visiting Arthur, and Arthur and I were schoolmates and grew up in the same village of Bussum.
Yeah, great memories there.
Great memories.
Same music school.
Yes, yes.
Who knew we would end?
Who knew we would end up here in the Canadian waters? So tell me, what's so special about Powell River?
There's this little village outside of the big city where people really care about music and about the arts.
That's amazing.
Who support
Yes.
a festival like PRISMA and other festivals.
So tell me, you make a really strong case for education and making our community enjoy the richness of music, especially with young musicians.
The knowledge of this generation needs to be transported to the next generation. You cannot just write it down in a book or download an app to say this is how you play the violin or this is how you blow your oboe. So, this tradition from generation to generation is something that needs to be delivered hand-on. And I think you do that with the Vancouver Symphony Institute.
Yes.
We do that here at PRISMA. There's a lot of programs that do these things, and it's important.
Yeah.
You cannot just learn it from a book.
No, I completely agree with you that music, we should pass it on, and it's really important to, for young people to have that opportunity to make music together. And I mean, being in a place like this is gorgeous, but if you add cultural life and music to that, you have something unique in the world, I think. I'm enjoying a lot of time with the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra.
That's a great orchestra.
It's a fantastic orchestra, and we don't only have the orchestra, but there's also the School of Music.
That's right.
And that's what we were talking about, like passing that on and inspiring young people to make music. And it's today I realized how much making music as a young person actually contributes to your capacity to concentrate and to focus. You kind of develop a kind of skill in concentration by making music.
Totally.
And that will be helpful in your entire life, even if you turn out to be doing something completely different. So how's PRISMA been doing?
So PRISMA's been doing okay. I think I'm very happy that we survived the pandemic, but I cannot wait to have that dear audience in the hall again.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we don't make music for cameras and microphones. We make music for people. And it's time for us to get back together and be in that magical moment. The beauty about music is that it only exists in that moment.
Yes.
And we felt that today so much,
Yes.
right? We were kayaking in the Ragged Islands, and you're there, you're one with nature, you're in the water. The eagle flies over, the seal comes up, and you're in that moment.
Yeah.
And
That's like making music as well.
Exactly.
Performing for a live audience is what that feels like.
And also for the audience.
Yes.
And then there starts to happen this magical connection.
I'm pretty sure that will all return. And we have to be a little bit patient, but we can be convinced
Absolutely.
that it will return.
That will return.
It will return.
anything you want to say to the Powell River audience, to the Prisma on the Couch audience?
I think the Powell River people, I think you're so lucky to have such a wonderful person as Arthur here, and an inspiring person for music and for culture, for the arts, but also as a person that makes connections between people, makes connections with young musicians, new audiences, and even probably makes a connection between nature and music, which is maybe difficult to explain, but I'm very sure that is actually what he's doing. Look around you and think of the most beautiful music you can imagine, and then you will understand what we mean.
That was great, Andy, to see that kayaking with Otto Tausk again. You know, I could get in my kayak now and get out there on the water, and I would probably paddle to Savory Island.
Would you? Well, you see, I forgot my hiking shoes and I forgot my kayak, so I would have to be taking the water taxi over to Savory if I'm going over there today.
And you would not be alone?
No.
So many people go to Savory at this time of year. And have you been there before?
A few times, yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Well, there's just this, well, on one side of the island, there's this beautiful sandy beach that's kind of like something closer to Hawaii than anything around here. And the other beach, you get to the dock, and there's kids jumping off, and it's kind of rockier, and there's the boats out there, you know, and it's just, you know, gravel, dirt roads, and kind of off the beaten path, this kind of West Coast charm. You know, you think Powell River's laid back, well, Savory's a whole other kettle of fish.
Well, yeah, and actually next to the dock there is actually a whole sandy beach too, where I beached my boat quite a few times. And depending on the tides, you can do that, and then it gets afloat again whenever you need it to be afloat, if you calculate it right. Anyway, Savory is a whole different world. You know, we have Powell River or West Coast time here in this West Coast area, but when you hop over to Savory, it is again another time. Experience, I should say. I love it there. Yeah, it's great to be on Savory. We have some more music to share, eh?
We do. I'm really excited about this one because if you've been watching the series so far, we've showed you the first 3 movements of the Schubert String Quintet. And this was something where Arthur joined our special guest, but they're kind of like family to us now, the Lafayette String Quartet, for this amazing experience.
Yeah, you know, I just have to say one more time here how incredible it was to join that fantastic group of musicians. And all 4 women became dear friends over the course of 2 weeks. We worked very hard daily. We had daily rehearsals, and it's actually quite rare to have time to go so deep into a piece of music. And I guess, you know, it was very hot at night in the hall. We were going towards the end here, last movement. I remember being so warm and sweaty, but enjoying it so much, the interaction with the quartet, to play that last movement of the Schubert String Quintet. Well, Andy, and ladies and gentlemen, that brought us to the end of this show.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't really want to leave here, but you've told me where we're going next, and that's a pretty good trade-off.
Well, shall we share some of it, or shall we keep it a secret?
Now we have to tell them, and then we'll watch.
Oh, that's right. That's how it works. Well, ladies and gentlemen, behind me, you see that beautiful group of islands there in the far end. That's the Copeland Islands Marine Park, BC Natural Marine Park. And around the corner more north is Desolation Sound. We will take you to the Copeland Islands and Desolation Sound, find some beautiful anchorages, anchor the boat there, and we'll announce next week from these different anchorages.
PRISMA on the boat. Can't wait.
PRISMA on the boat. No couches to carry.
Yes.
And, and I'm sure you'll love it. See you then. Good night.
Good night.